Hello there. I have a different little video here today. In a few days, the Tron Ares movie is going to come out, and the soundtrack for that movie is by 9 Inch Nails here, although I should probably call it the score. Anyway, this is the standard US CD release, which was sent out, I don't even remember what day, like the 29th of September or something, 26th maybe, I don't know. But I bought this and I was trying to find a high resolution copy of the artwork. Now, there are a bajillion different releases of this album. This is the 9 Inch Nails store exclusive artwork, if I remember correctly. The standard artwork is a kind of matrixy kind of distortion thing going down the front of this that is red to black. Anyway, while trying to find high resolution artwork of this, though, I found out about something really weird, and I was actually, I think, one of the first people to catch on to this, and I got it in today. This is the US 9 Inch Nails store release, and this is a Japanese exclusive release. Now, I haven't actually seen this yet, but this is supposed to be styled to look like a 5 1/4 inch floppy disk with the packaging. And I am really, oh my gosh, yeah, that's it. Oh man, that is insane. So this is just a CD copy of the soundtrack, but packaged to look like a 5 1/4 inch disc. That's incredible. Now, here is a real 5 1/4 inch floppy disk for comparison, and yeah, they nailed that bang on. Oh my gosh, that's ridiculous. So it's just a card with artwork. Okay, there was literally no information online about this when I bought it. Yeah, that is the artwork that I was trying to describe before. Okay, so this is the that is so weird. I don't think I've ever seen a CD that has that sleeve. I've seen laser discs here, like that's pretty common. I've never seen a CD with that. Now this was supposed to come with a sticker or poster or something. Is that the bonus? Okay, yeah. This is from CD Japan. Token bonus photo sticker featuring JAC jacket. I mean, I guess. Yeah, that okay, that's a sticker. Yep. So I assume this is just the standard CD soundtrack. There shouldn't really be anything different about that. But yeah, this is the whole deal right here. That is pretty darn sweet there. So yeah, exact same size hole and everything. All right. We're not done yet though. Because this begs the question. This is a CD copy of the album, and this is a fake floppy disk. Just a piece of paper here. Could we fit the actual CD album, all right, not all 700 megabytes of it, but could we fit the soundtrack on a real floppy disk? Let's see if we can. Actually, I have one more thought here before we move on. This is the 7-inch single for As Alive As You Need Me to Be Here. That is a very heavy 7-inch, by the way. I've not actually taken that out before. Holy moly, that's ridiculous. It's somewhat of a shame they didn't style this after an 8-inch disc, because you totally could have done that. And had a floppy vinyl release as well. That would have been kind of awesome, but yeah, they didn't. But yeah, just imagine there could have been a record that's like a floppy disk too. Anyway, let's see if we can fit this on there. All right, here I have the entire album ripped to my computer as WAV, which is 676 megabytes. There is no chance we're going to fit that on a floppy disk. So we would have to try and convert these files. Now, unfortunately, the reality is we're not going to be able to fit an entire album on floppy disks no matter what. And the only thing I'm going to try and put on here is As Alive As You Need Me To Be, which is the single off of that 7-inch. Now, to do this, I'm going to use FFmpeg, and we're going to encode the files as MP3. That way they are playable, although I don't want to use 4K on here. I'm going to set the sample rate to 8K, which is about as low as we can go and impact meaningful change on the file size. Now I'm going to make a folder here called MP3 because we're going to convert the files and put them into there. So let's go ahead and run this, and you'll see just how small we can get these files to be. All right, they're all converted, and the total size of this folder is still 15 megabytes. We couldn't even fit that on a 3.5-inch disc. We can fit any one of these tracks on a floppy disk, but definitely not all of them. And this audio quality, it sounds like hold music on a phone already, so we're definitely not able to reduce this any further. Now, Who Wants to Live Forever here is the biggest track on here, but thankfully, As Alive As You Need Me To Be is only 900K, which means we can definitely fit this on a floppy. But not this one. This is a double density floppy disk. This only holds about 360K. We're going to need a high density floppy disk to be able to do this. So I'm gonna have to actually open up this sealed box of 5.25-inch high density floppies here to be able to continue this project. Oh gosh, it hurts. There we go. So here we have our discs, and we're gonna use one of these. I'm going to go ahead and put this into this floppy drive here. This is a combo unit using an FD505. This can read and write the 1.2 megabyte discs. And internally, I have built a grease weasel into this thing so that I can actually use this with my modern computer. All right, so we have a disk in our drive and we have the file that we're going to work with. So now we need to make a floppy disk image. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this file out of here, and I'll make a new folder called floppy. And I'm going to paste this in here. All right, now to make a new floppy disk image, I'm actually going to abuse the virtual machine emulator program 86box, and we're going to just make a floppy.img file here, and I'm creating a 1.2 megabyte floppy disk image here. There we go. All right, now what I need to do is I need to mount the floppy so that I can format it. So now I'm just going to run format B, and with that we will have just formatted our floppy disk image so that we can put this file in it. And there we go, that file is now a formatted 1.2 megabyte floppy. And that means after I release it from here, we can go over to the folder and I can use the Linux program mcopy to copy a file into that floppy disk image. There we are. So now we have this file in the floppy disk. So if I remount that file, go over to the floppy and dir it, we can see we have our 9 Inch Nails song on the floppy disk. Now we need to write it to a real disk. All right, now I will use GW info here to make sure that it finds my grease weasel. It does, which means I can now use GW write, and we can specify the floppy disk file that we want to write here, and then we can specify what drive we want to write it to. Now I do need to specify that the format is IBM 1200, which is the 1.2 megabyte standard. All right, and with that command, I can go ahead and write the disk. All right, this floppy disk now contains As Alive As You Need Me To Be on it. But there's one more thing we need to do here. I need to pull off this original label. There we go, got the original label off, and I have replicated this one's label instead. And there we go. That is a real floppy disk with the 9 Inch Nails Tron Ares single on it. But there is a minor problem. I don't have access to a computer right now that can play this, so I'm actually going to rewrite this to a 144 megabyte disk, and then we can play that. All right, here we go. This disk also contains the exact same thing that this one does, but I can put this one into my little Windows 98 computer here, and we can try and play it. And here we go. This is probably going to take a while to start because floppies aren't exactly fast, and it's going to take it some time to cache the file to actually play it. There it is. I can't exactly play that here, but that is Nine Inch Nails' Tron soundtrack recreated on a real floppy disk from the Japanese exclusive floppy disk variant. As soon as I saw that this thing existed, I knew I had to have it, and I knew I needed to give this a go because, I mean, this is just really cool. I appreciate their effort in doing this. It's a shame it wasn't available in the US, but man, that's still ridiculously cool. Well, that's all I've got for now. If you enjoyed this video, you may want to check out my main channel where I do a lot more vintage computer stuff. If you want to help support me in what I do, you can find me on Patreon. But for now, that's it, and I'll see you next time. Very cool.